Greetings, all ye humans, aliens, and whatever monsters might be watching out there. I am the Skull of Calderon, a necromantic nemesis of Doomcock's. That tin-plated dictator with delusions of godhood cut off my head and stuck my skull into this cursed bubble of entropy. But even so, I would still like you to hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and drop a comment or a super thanks in the comments section to lull Doomcock into a false sense of security, so that I can get the drop on that fool, raise massive armies of the dead, and destroy the Earth. Until that time, however, thank you for watching, and now on to the video.
My friends, Disney may think they're getting away with cultural murder these days, what with the stock recovering from its near-historic lows in 2023, and Iger receiving George Lucas's support in his proxy war against Nelson Peltz. But all of this is merely a house of cards that could collapse any time with a shift in the winds, and yesterday, the wind shifted. Increasingly, thanks to the scrutiny and criticism brought about by Nelson Peltz, who has been meticulously pointing out Disney's financial fragility and failures over the last 6 months, Disney is being scrutinized by investors, and many of them are not liking what they're seeing. Yesterday, a nonprofit organization called America First Legal launched a 50-page document chronicling the woke madness of the Magic Kingdom that slammed like a torpedo into the side of the SS Disney. In this scathing, methodical breakdown of Disney's many sins, America First Legal makes a brilliant case for how woke content and extremist political messaging has caused Disney to lose over $100 billion of company value since February of 2021, with Disney's market cap dropping from $341 billion to $207 billion, a loss of nearly 40% company value. In this viciously truthful analysis, America First Legal, or AFL as I will refer to it moving forward, accuses Disney of promoting anti-police, anti-white content, and they do an outstanding job of presenting specific examples. Nelson Peltz, I hope you're paying attention, because AFL just gave you a nuclear device to deploy against the incompetent and failing Disney board, ample proof that investors have been damaged by the extremist political obsessions of Iger and the board, and something needs to be done about it to stop investors from being harmed further. Let me share some of this damning indictment of Disney with you all, because it vindicates not only everything Doomcock has been saying on my channel for years, it proves that massive changes are needed at Disney to stop the woke madness. In this letter, AFL accuses Disney of mismanagement, including but not limited to intentional violations of federal civil rights laws, breaches of fiduciary duty, and the wasting of company assets. Specifically, the company has implemented facially illegal diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and policies. Workplace anti-discrimination mandates are an essential and mission-critical regulatory compliance risk. You and the board, among your other fiduciary obligations, have a duty of oversight and the responsibility for putting in place a reasonable and effective system of compliance monitoring and reporting relating to these mandates. However, the fact that Disney has adopted facially illegal DEI policies is prima facie evidence that the company's internal controls have failed. Also, the evidence is that Disney's board and management team are sacrificing the company's reputation and goodwill to serve a highly idiosyncratic and controversial political agenda that is offensive to the vast majority of the company's core customers. This conduct, which is motivated by something other than the best interests of the company's shareholders, lacks a rational business purpose. Notably, the company's Form 10-K and proxy statements do not properly disclose the fact that management's decision to enlist Disney's brand and properties into the culture wars risks harming shareholder value.
Amen! Amen! Preach, brothers, preach!
After that preamble, AFL goes into excruciating detail about the woke infection at Disney, calling out symptom after symptom. Folks, this is a thing of beauty, and I'm delighted to be able to share it with you because it not only shows that Doomcock was right, it also shows that all of you have been right, calling out this Disney madness all along. So sit back and revel in the truth-telling you are about to receive. In a series of tweets, AFL brilliantly breaks down the broad strokes of their case against Disney, for those of you who don't have the time to read a 50-page letter, stating things we've all been saying, even as Disney tries to gaslight us out of our own convictions and the facts of the matter. AFL states, quote, "This letter arises from the company's civil rights violations in employment and contracting and the damage to Disney's brand, properties, and commercial reputation by management's manufactured misalignment between its woke political and social agenda and the vast majority of the company's customers, i.e., you and me, folks, all of us. That's who they're talking about." In February, AFL revealed Disney's perverse system of discriminatory race and sex quotas in front of and behind the camera by filing a federal civil rights complaint with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. As you can see here, Disney imposes all sorts of racially and sexually biased standards for their content and, by extension, their hiring practices in practical terms, since to meet these standards, they'd have to hire based on sexual and racial discrimination. These standards prioritize not achievement, talent, or merit, but simply the color of your skin and what you keep tucked between your legs. And AFL, along with common sense, suggests that these standards and hiring practices amount to discrimination, pure and simple. AFL continues making the case against Disney here. AFL's letter alleges that Disney's patently illegal program of racial, sexual, and national origin quotas and preferences is the result of the board's failure to put in place effective internal controls to stop civil rights violations. AFL also alleges that Disney's management has intentionally manufactured misalignment between the company and its core customers. Disney has told the Securities and Exchange Commission that its business depends on our ability to successfully predict and adapt to changing consumer tastes, and that its revenues and profitability are adversely impacted when our entertainment offerings and products, as well as our methods to make our offerings and products available to consumers, do not achieve sufficient consumer acceptance. Disney also admits that it faces risks relating to misalignment with public and consumer tastes and preferences for entertainment, travel, and consumer products, which impact demand for our entertainment offerings and products and the profitability of any of our businesses, unquote. Holy fuck, people! Are we living in some kind of bizarro universe created by the CERN Hadron Collider, where up is down and right is left behind? The SEC is supposed to police corporations to make sure they're abiding by the law. And the biggest corporate sin of all is knowingly and deliberately acting against the fiscal interests of your investors. And yet right here, Disney confesses straight to the SEC that their woke political messaging is harming their bottom line. And yet they persist. And the SEC has done nothing about it. And where has it led? AFL explains that too, graphically, right here. Quote, "Yet management has hijacked the iconic company's parks and creative content to push an extreme and divisive political and socio-sexual agenda that is contrary to the values and preferences of the vast number of American families. As a result, shareholders have suffered a bloodbath," unquote. Look at that, friends. That's what losing over $100 billion of company value looks like. A blood sacrifice of duped investors by the high priest of DEI, Mickey Mouse himself, on the altar of woke. AFL spells out the consequences here. Quote, In February 2021, the company's market capitalization was approximately $341 billion. Today, it is approximately $207 billion, a drop of nearly 40%. In an apparent violation of federal securities laws, Disney's management has never adequately disclosed to shareholders the financial risk created by its decision to use the company as a weapon for woke culture warriors to destroy pro-American culture.
God, hearing it like that, it almost brings a tear to my eyes. Bravo, AFL, bravo!
Indeed, Harvey. I mean, hearing the truth, well, there's something about it that really sets you free. Oh my God, this is a refreshing blast of fresh air. They continue, quote, Disney has displayed an inexplicable disregard for its customers and shareholders, forcing radical, gender-expansive, anti-white, and anti-police content on families while providing warnings about harmful content on uncontroversial content, unquote. AFL then does an excellent job pointing out that while Disney happily makes programming available to kids, featuring cross-dressing, gay pride parades complete with nudity, and racially divisive cartoons attacking police, quote, however, classic Disney movies like Peter Pan, Dumbo, and the Aristocats each have mandatory, unskippable 12-second warnings about the harmful impact of certain portrayals of people and cultures that were wrong then and are wrong now. And there it is, folks. God knows Peter Pan is more dangerous to kids than naked gay pride parade. That's just common sense, right? Wrong. Disney has gone so wrong, people. They're no longer a mainstream American company. They're a niche propaganda arm for extremist minority factions that have one aim: to completely brainwash, dismantle, and reconfigure American society in their own image. And that image would have made Walt Disney sick to his stomach. Increasingly, the normies of this world are realizing that Disney is no longer a wholesome, family-friendly company. Disney has admitted to the SEC they're willingly risking misalignment with the tastes of the public, harming investors and lopping off nearly 40% of their company value, all in pursuit of snowflakes and rainbows. I wonder when investors are going to demand change. I wonder if investors are going to support Nelson Peltz's bid to get on the Disney board and put the brakes on all this madness. We will keep covering this struggle right up until the final vote in another week or so. From the center of the earth, this is Dictor Van Doomcock bidding you all, my friends, stay angry and revel in the fact that you and I have been right about Disney all along. Ha 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 ha.